Hello, and welcome to Houston Volunteer Lawyers Legal Advice Clinic Orientation. This video will provide a brief do's and don'ts of volunteering at a legal advice clinic. The interview is both an intake process as well as an opportunity to give legal advice. In your folder, you will find a blank attorney's notes page and, if applicable, one or several questionnaires. The questionnaires were developed by HVL staff attorney, and it is information that we need in order to assess the case. When completing the notes and questionnaire, please be as detailed as possible. Think of it as what information would you like to have if you were deciding whether or not to accept the case. The questionnaire placed in the folder is based on what the applicant told our staff. You may find during the interview that a different questionnaire is needed. For example, the applicant may say they needed help with custody, but in actuality, they need help with a guardianship. If this is the case, raise your hand and an HVL staff attorney will get you the correct questionnaire. Please answer every question, even if it seems it may not be relevant or you may be a little uncomfortable asking the questions. A lot of this information is very much necessary for us to assess the case. At the bottom of the attorney's notes page, you will see recommendations. Please check the appropriate box. No further action means you provided advice and counsel only. The applicant asked, for example, how many days do I need to give notice to terminate my lease? That was all the assistance that they needed. You have solved their problem, and they were able to walk away without further representation needed. Provided limited action by is when you make a phone call or you help the applicant complete a form. But similar to no further action, the applicant was able to walk away. No further representation is needed to complete or answer their question. Otherwise, every other case should be continued action needed. That's basically saying you were not able to resolve their matter at the interview itself. This is not you making a determination of whether or not the case will be accepted. We will talk about the acceptance process a little bit later in this interview, but rather that you did not solve the legal question during the interview. If you are interested in continuing representation for the applicant, please check the box at the bottom of the attorney's notes page. However, please do not tell the applicant. After gathering the facts, please provide legal advice to the applicant. For some of our applicants, this will be the only opportunity they have to speak with an attorney on their matter. Some volunteers are a little hesitant to provide legal advice, especially on a matter for which they're a little less familiar with because it's not their practice area. Let me reassure you, you know more about the law and legal rights than the applicant does. As you are talking to them, you will find that you remember much more than you realize. But that being said, HVL has developed a legal advice handbook which has answers to many of the common questions that we see in our legal advice clinics. Do please feel free to look at it and look up the answer. And as always, you can always ask a staff attorney for assistance. If the applicant has been served with a petition, HVL does have general answers available. Raise your hand and ask a staff attorney to bring one up for you. You can help the applicant complete it and give them instructions on how to file it. If there is a pending event within 30 days or another urgent matter, ask the HVL staff member to red flag the file. And that way the case will get processed first when we get back to the office. At the end of the interview, please write down what legal advice you provided. On the attorney's notes page, you will see a section titled Legal Advice Provided, followed by several blank lines. On those lines, please write, exactly, I advised applicant on the legal alternatives regarding fill in the blank. In the blank, you can write down the type of matter you advised on. For example, guardianship, tax, divorce. And yes, it can be as simple as that one word. If you want, you can write additional advice that you provided for the staff attorney to know that that was information that you gave. We ask that you do not be creative. Our grants require that these words that we call magic words must be written exactly as they are. On your table, you should have a sheet with these magic words. If they do not have them, please ask for a staff attorney to get you one. Please do limit your time. The amount of time allocated for each appointment will be specific for the clinic you are attending. Generally, walk-in clinics such as our Saturday clinics and lunchtime legal clinics are 15 to 20 minutes. Our specialized clinics or appointment-only clinics can be a little longer, lasting anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. That being said, please use your discretion to take the time that you need. If you find that you need longer in order to get the facts necessary and to provide the legal advice, please do so. On the other hand, sometimes the applicants will get into the weeds, so to speak, providing a lot of details that is just not necessary for the intake process and probably more relevant for the attorney taking the case on for further representation, or they have multiple issues that they need assistance with. If you find that the applicant will not end the interview and it's not a productive conversation, please ask for assistance from an HVL staff attorney. Finishing up the interview. When you are done, please walk the applicant to the exit table. Do not give the applicant the folder. If there is a line, please be sure to give the folder to an HVL staff member. We do not want the applicant to walk away with their folder. If we don't have the folder, we're not able to process a case for them. It is okay to give the applicant the legal referral resource guide that's available to you if you find that you think that another agency is more helpful for them. If you are attending a virtual clinic, please complete your notes and email them to the address provided. Now for some general dues. Please take a break whenever you need one. Also, please ask an HVL staff attorney if you need help. You can simply raise your hand and we will come over to your table and answer your question. This, of course, will be in front of the applicant. If you feel that some privacy is needed, simply excuse yourself and come on over to us and we'll find an area that's away from the applicant. Finally, it is okay to interrupt us if we are speaking with somebody else. Now for some general don'ts. Please do not give the applicant your last name or other identifying information. Please do not let applicants bring family members to the interview table. This protects the attorney-client privilege. It also protects the family member. If the applicant wants to bring children to the table, for example, and it involves a family matter, the children might not necessarily need to be hearing the contents of that conversation. If the family member is there to translate, HVL has access to the language line as well as Spanish-speaking translators at the clinic itself who are able to provide the translation. If the applicant insists on bringing the family member, please ask an HVL staff attorney for assistance. Now some case acceptance don'ts. If you check the continued representation needed box, please do not tell the applicant if you are interested in representing them going forward, and also please do not tell the applicant whether or not HVL will take their case. There are a number of factors that are taken into consideration on whether or not HVL will be able to accept the case, and our staff will review each application based on those factors. After the clinic, HVL will review the case based on the application, your attorney's notes and questionnaire, and any documents provided by the applicant. Once a decision is made, HVL will send a letter to the applicant within 10 business days. If the case is not accepted, HVL will provide a referral to another agency or Houston Lawyer Referral Service. If you accepted a case, HVL will contact you. If the case is not accepted, we will let you know why. We will also likely offer you an alternate case with similar facts or similar work required. You are under no obligation to accept the alternate case. If the case is accepted, we will confirm with you that you are still interested in taking the case, and if so, a member of our pro bono team will follow up via email. Thank you very much for watching this orientation video, and again, thank you for choosing to volunteer at one of our legal advice clinics. You truly make justice happen.